Welcome, everybody. It is Martin John, and I am coming at you for a significantly later Tao of the day than I usually do. The reason being is that I wasn't feeling inspired to do one until just now, so here I am doing Tao of the day. If you are interested in picking a number between 1 and 81, I would love to have you step up and pick a number between 1 and 81. I am always up to sharing and opening up to what is going on with you and how that is related and how you might be able to incorporate the Tao within any struggles that you might be dealing with, anything that might be going on with you right now. So just pick a number between 1 and 81. So the Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about 300 BCE. I usually do Tao of the Day at 7 a.m. Here I am doing it at 7 p.m. Um, just because this morning was a little busy and then I wasn't feeling inspired until really just now. So I decided to hop on and do a little Tao for you. We'll see what. Oh, Michael's coming on.
Hey Martin, how's it going,
Hey,
man?
Michael, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see what the next number is. We're on 24. Like I might as well go in order here.
Yeah,
Uh,
like there is some very deep logic to that because there is as I was translating and I did realize there was, they do reference things in a very specific way that travels through. So, 24 is entitled "Do What Is to Be Done." Standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing. Rushing ahead robs you of knowing where you are. Looking at yourself robs you of seeing. Boasting of yourself robs you of your brilliance. Overpowering others robs you of your power. Clinging to your work robs you of longevity. If you want to align with Tao, just do what is to be done and then stop.
wow. Yeah. Gotta give me a moment here. I like hit exactly on what I needed to hear.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Tao is a really powerful text, and when you can take the time to like hear it, you know, it's like this idea of standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing. Like, do you want firm footing? Like, just
yeah.
be here. Like, think about all the things that we stand on tiptoes to do: to be a little taller, to appear taller, to see further ahead, to reach something that's not, to grasp at something that's not quite within reach.
Not to disturb others too. That's. I don't need to worry about my side of the understanding of the world to affect anybody else. Like sometimes I tiptoe around people and their beliefs.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting. The Tao talks about this as well, the idea that it's not your responsibility to the Tao says everything that can be said through Tao is always going to carry Tao, right? So if you say something and someone hears that as an attack, well, they're listening for an attack, but you're speaking from an honest perspective, from an open perspective. Now, if them thinking that you're attacking them makes you feel a certain way, that's your work.
Right.
You have
Yeah.
to figure out why you feel a certain way because they thought you were attacking them. Were you? It's possible. It's always
Yeah.
important to be able to look back at those things. But,
And that,
walking around on tiptoes and feeling like you're walking on eggshells, it's like you rob yourself of your firm footing of who you are.
exactly. Yeah. It the one you did yesterday really like made me think about like exactly it came up in the moment. Like it was like, okay, it's right. I need to step back and say fewer words and just sometimes some things don't need said. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's the one we
understand.
were talking about yesterday. This is, so I mentioned that, and that happens to be 23, right? He who aligns with Tao will only hear Tao. He who aligns with manifestation will only hear manifestation. He who aligns with failure will only hear failure. So it doesn't matter what you say, they're only going to hear what they are aligning with. So that one is 23. And then we move into 24. Standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing. Rushing ahead robs you of knowing where you are. I love that. That's so beautiful. Like
Yeah,
you're looking at a destination and you're not recognizing where you're at.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, that's been a point today, and I'm being able to reflect on it. It's just like, wow, all right,
Yeah,
this is deep. It's meant. I'm meant to hear this. I'm meant to be here right now.
absolutely. Yeah, well, yeah, and no matter where you are, you're meant to be there. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
not every moment will be as obvious as this. But every moment is as poignant as this. And so it's always pointing back to you. So those struggles, those little things that happen, we got to look at how are we experiencing this? Because this is what I've created in some way.
Yeah. It's
Looking at yourself robs you of seeing. And I think what we just said really relates to that because looking at yourself means trying to understand who you are in an intellectual way, but it
yeah. I
robs
do
you of
same. Yeah.
seeing.
Right. Dang.
I
Like
think
it's
when we
yeah.
get on, oh, I'm sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying like every. I'm excited for tomorrow for 25. Like really, this is just, and I'm waiting. I'm not jiving into it because you read to me actually helps me a lot more than me ever reading a book about anything. Like
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah.
learn. That's how I learn. Listening.
And this looking at yourself robs you of seeing. And so many people here on wisdom or on social media or whatever, really work from the cognitive perspective. And they look at understanding and they look to the point of really looking and they see that, but it robs them of seeing what's right in front of them. And I think that's why we say that you can never understand the Tao, because in trying to understand, you're robbing yourself of seeing it.
Right. Yeah.
Boasting of yourself robs you of your brilliance. And I say this all the time when I talk to people about why they're upset, or even why you're happy, right? Like boasting of yourself, saying I did this, right? It robs you of how brilliant you can be, because you're compartmentalizing your wholeness into one part. You say, I'm smart. Yeah, but you're so much more than that. So
Right.
stop,
Right.
stop telling yourself that you're smart. Stop telling everybody else you're smart and start being who you are, because then you can be everything.
Yeah. It's like a smart man doesn't go around telling everybody how smart he is. I
That's
mean, that's
right.
just it's counter or like it's just people see that and they're like, well, you don't have to tell me. Like your
Yeah.
words are
if
better.
you got to tell me, well, then there's something wrong with the with the equation.
Right.
And
Right.
then
Yeah.
this continues to say, overpowering others robs you of your power.
Yeah. It's a gentle approach is usually the finesse you need.
Mm. Well, that's a beautiful way of putting it. Yeah, right. Like allow them their space. That is what gives you power. You have the power to yield. You have the power to allow them space rather than trying to hold on to it. Because that which you're overpowering them with is using your strength, using your power. And you're definitely going to lose at some point,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because
We
you're engaged with an argument in some fashion.
we have all these tools in our toolbox, and like I used to just always use a sledgehammer. Like
Mm,
it might get the work done, but what's left of it.
right.
It's not.
If everything, if you use a sledgehammer for everything, your sandwiches are going to be shit.
Yeah. Right. Oh, but they fit the
So
lunchbox so
yeah.
much better.
And
Man,
then
yeah, that's it.
clinging to your work. This is the last of the sextet of of things that rob you. Clinging to your work robs you of longevity.
I get burnt out.
Yeah. And you know, like our work, the work that we do, whatever that is, the work of our living, changes from day to day, all the time. You know, and if we cling to our work right now, well, then we're holding on to work that maybe we should be letting go of.
True.
Clinging to today robs us of tomorrow. And I think that's another way of looking at this. Clinging to your work, the work you have to do today, robs you of the work you're going to have to do tomorrow. Because if you think that your work is to, I don't know, whatever you think your work is, you know, your work is to get a better relationship, right? Well, that as you try to get a better relationship, you are going to stagnate within your relationships and within other aspects of your life as well, because you are holding on to an idea that you created when you learned that that was your work.
Right. Yeah. So it's like don't think, do, just do. I mean, there's
Right.
that kind of
Kind of. Well, you know, it's like, or don't do, like, don't overthink it. Like, this is like,
right.
you know, I like to talk to people when we talk about the idea of your work is like, you can't, a lot of people want to measure success, you know,
Right.
and they measure physical success. They're like, okay, well, I got abs, or I got, my arms are bigger, or this or that. But when you start to do that in the spiritual, like, growth realm, or in the self growth realm, you get a weird result, because the person that made the destination, or the person that made the spectrum of which you are going to measure yourself with, is not the person who is going to do the measuring. Because
Right.
at 16, you made your spectrum. At 20, you're measuring yourself against the spectrum you made 4 years ago. You were a different person. You're not actually using the same spectrum anymore. That spectrum has changed over those 4 years. And even though you might think that I haven't grown at all, that's because your spectrum has changed. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you can't adequately judge yourself. When you can measure the size of your bicep with a number, write it down, and then it's there. But you can't do that with personal growth, with spiritual growth. That's not, that you can't, there is no number that you can quantitatively measure.
Right. Yeah. Like with my spiritual growth, there is no path, and like I mean, there's a path I'm walking, but it's not clear. There's not like the next step isn't in front of me, and I don't focus on nothing in front of me. I just focus at what's going on within me at the moment, and it's helped me a lot. I've
Yeah.
I've made progress from where I was. So
And that's how this whole number 24 ends. If you want to align with Tao, and aligning with Tao, I want you to understand that Tao isn't a thing. You know, Tao
right,
is everything, right? Tao is God, or Tao is the ether, whatever, however you want to. If you want to align with what you are, just do what is to be done and then stop. That, what it means is that if you are going to try and accomplish something, well, then you might want to get into the mode of, like, making another goal and doing
right,
stuff. But when you're talking about this idea of, like, it's just what I'm doing, do what is to be done and then stop. And then when it's time to pick it up again, you pick it up again. But you don't cling. You don't try and overpower others to get more. You don't boast about what you have done. You don't start looking at yourself and saying, how can I be better? You just keep going forward.
yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I resonate with that deeply. Like it's something I need to start looking at when I speak, or when I'm meeting new people, is like not what I've done, it's what they have done, and see the growth in them, and
And
Yeah.
remember, when like, there is this idea that there are no other people. When you interact with somebody, and you are triggered in any way to think that they need something, or whatever, you have to look at yourself first. You have to say, okay, well, where do I need that, or where am I feeling lacking in this realm? That's your work. Of course, you can
Right.
go out and the the cognitive, like, coaching work of helping another person. But I have a quote that I say that is like, do you think you can help someone else? You're wrong. There is no one else.
Yeah.
Because when you help yourself, everybody you come in contact with will be lit a fire with your passion. That's what I hope I bring to people. It's not about me helping you, it's about you doing that fucking work and me just
Right.
doing my work. And I do my work to such a degree that it is infectious.
It is. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
But
24. Do what is to be
24.
done, my friend.
I do. I do need to do that. So no more talking about it. We're thinking about it. Just
Yeah, do what is to
done.
be done, and then stop. Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired. Everything else is just your life.
Right.
Have a good night, man. Truly, Julie is going to join me, as I love Julie. Julie, Jesus Christ, it is early in the morning. What are you doing up?
Well, Martin John, if you're going to come on here doing a day of the day, my body says, you don't need to sleep yet. You don't need to sleep yet. Go on, wisdom. Go on, wisdom.
Go
Martin
on,
John's
go
on
on.
there. Martin John's on there. Go and join him. Go and join him.
This is a very special late night edition. I bought a little pickup truck today to help me move some stuff, and it
Yeah.
was a busy morning, but it was good.
Did you enjoy the pickup truck, though?
I did. It's a nice little truck. I got it to my mechanic. He's gonna put in a new wiper motor and make sure, give it a once over, and we're gonna I'll pick it up in a week or so.
Can I tell you a story about a wiper? So I brought this Peugeot. It's a soft top, and
Nice.
it's a beautiful, like, metallic sky blue. And the back could go down. And I was loving it. It's really, really cheap as well. So it was within my budget. And I was thinking I was living the high life.
Yeah.
So I got in it. It belonged to a lady who had a dog. The top roof on the outside was perfect. The dog had eaten the roof on the inside. But I didn't care. I didn't care. The roof
No.
still worked. It's all good. And then I was setting off down the road, tootling around. My kids were in the back car with their dad following me when it started to rain, and someone's windscreen wipers did not work. So there you go. But that car, we had lots of great memories in that car. Got it fixed. I got a new roof put on it as well. It was a lovely blue mohair roof I had put on that car.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was loving the life. It was drop down wheels. It had a stereo in it, and I used to spend most of my time ferrying my teenagers around with things like Guns N' Roses and Groove Armada playing in it. It was just great. So there you go.
That's great.
So
Yeah, no, I got, like, this has been a work truck its whole life.
yeah,
It's been cared for pretty well because it was part of a fleet,
yeah,
for a company, so they needed to care for it, and they did, apparently. And so we'll see. I'm excited to get it in my possession. I'm switching states and stuff, so
yeah,
I gotta do all my paperwork, but it's all coming along. It's all coming along, and
good.
I got it's a
I'm
nice
glad.
the nice little Chevy Colorado. It's a small four-cylinder, like, pickup truck, and it's got a hitch on it. So I'll put a little motorcycle hitch on it, and I can bring my motorcycle around if I want.
Absolutely. You're living the life. You're
I know,
living the
like, I'm
life.
I'm
It's
living I'm living
lovely.
fat over here.
Yeah, I'm loving that as well because
Yeah.
I can just speak to you and say, "How you doing?" And I get all this other lovely stuff, and I can enjoy with you. So fabulous! I love it. So this is why I got to come on, just to
Yeah.
first of all just ask you how you're doing and how's life for you, and it is great, which is wonderful. I love
Always, always great, always great. So, do you have a number for me this evening?
that. Today we shall have the number. Hang on, I'm just going to ask the ether. Caught the number 33. Oh, what's
33.
on there?
You are not manifestation. Study others and gain some knowledge. Study yourself and gain deep wisdom. Controlling others takes strength, but controlling your ego and desires takes power and perseverance. Knowing that you have enough gives you wealth. Grasping for money and love forces you to conform. Embrace who you are and stay centered in that. And although you will die, you will not perish.
Nice. To me, that to me says just be who you are. That is
Mhm.
enough. You are enough. If that's
Be who
what,
you are,
yeah,
but don't be who you think you are,
absolutely. Yeah, massive difference.
right?
Massive difference.
You
Yeah.
like who you think you are. And the point to this is um where did it say that? This is very much like being the prisoner of other people's ideas, right? So study others and gain some knowledge. Study
Yeah.
yourself and gain deep wisdom. You being who you think you are, and it's important that think you are and the
Mhm.
knowledge here, right? Study others and gain some knowledge, maybe some knowledge about who you think you are.
Or who they think I am.
Right. And so
Yeah.
then, oh, they think I'm this, and so I'm this. I've
Yes.
I, I've gone through workshops and stuff, asked everybody to write a list of things you're good at, write a list of things you're bad at. Now pick a
Mm,
couple of those and tell me where you learned that. And it was always on both sides. Someone told me, or I got rewarded, or I got punished, or I was embarrassed
mm,
through, and it was always about other people. So you
yeah.
study others and you gain some knowledge about what they think you are,
Mm.
some knowledge about just some knowledge, some random knowledge about some bullshit. Study yourself and gain deep wisdom. This evening I was like, I didn't do Tao of the day today. I don't know if I'm going to. And I sat down in my rocking chair and I was sat there for like an hour. And then I was like, yeah, it's time. And then I just came on. And it's like,
Excellent.
is that, like that's just being with myself. I needed to sit for an hour just looking out the window in the
Mm.
dark with my in my rocking chair, just sitting there. And I was just able to, okay, now's a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Controlling others takes strength, but controlling your ego and desires takes power and perseverance.
Mm, yeah. I think, well, that's the whole point. That's the problem.
Absolutely.
When people say things to me, today I had a friend that I work with in hospital, and she was saying to me, I love the sound of your voice. Now, that's been said a few times, but I have to just let that go, just like a leaf on a stream.
Hmm.
Because if I think about my voice too much, it's going to change. It's going to change to what I think people like about my voice.
Yeah,
And in it will be lost the element that is just the natural, the what
yeah,
is in me.
absolutely.
So um I can't think about people giving me like it's a nice compliment, great, but I've got to drop it. It's got to just go past. I'm glad you enjoy. That's it. That's all I can say or think about that
Oh yeah.
because as soon as I start thinking, I start changing.
You start
Because
predicting what it is they like.
yes, yes, yes.
It's interesting. Um, Being from Chicago, everybody forgive me. I have been a fan, like not a big fan, but I have liked the music of R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And R. Kelly came out with this like huge like opera thing called Trapped in the Closet.
Mm.
And he put out chapters 1 through 13, and then he put out like 13 to 26 or something like that. And 1 through 13 was brilliant. I mean, if you were to watch the videos, and like it's really a piece of art. Like it is, and it is a masterpiece. I will I will hold to that because
Mm.
I understand like
Mm.
it, and I know, and there are bits in there that are just groundbreaking. There are little bits in there that are groundbreaking, and it's obvious, and they're beautiful parts. 1 through 13. From
Mm-hmm.
13 to 26 or 13 to 21, whatever the second part was. And I own these DVDs and stuff and whatnot because I enjoyed it so much. But the second part took all of the things that were groundbreaking and just repeated them. And
Mm-hmm.
it was ridiculous. It was almost a caricature of itself.
Mm.
And that's the thing, like when you try and control others, the thoughts of them, and say, oh, they like this, let's give that to them. Like this is controlling your ego and desires, your desire to be liked, your desire
Yes.
to have things. Controlling your ego and desires takes power and perseverance. Why perseverance? Because when someone tells you they like your voice, it takes a lot to not try and think about it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not try and lean into it.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely that. Because as soon as I do, I lose myself.
Yes, you're under the influence.
Yes. So, yeah.
Knowing that you have enough gives you wealth. Grasping for money and love forces you to conform. This is again like under the influence. If you grasp for money, if you want money, you have to be under its influence because you're being forced to conform to get it. If you're
Yeah.
grasping for it. Now, there are ways when you know yourself and money comes to you because you have wealth.
Yeah.
Same
I've
with love.
experienced that. I've experienced that. I've experienced people. I've experienced being able to receive
Yes.
without asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's lovely.
And that's not easy to receive because
No.
so often we want to do it our way because that's holding on to our ego
Mm.
and our desires for the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Being in control.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
But rather than controlling others and all of that and the situations you're in, control your ego and your desires.
Yeah.
Embrace who you are and stay centered in that. And although you will die, you will not perish.
Yeah.
That one for me is like, you will die because you're centered in who you are, and who you are today is going to die to become who you are tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that's what happens when you stay centered in who you are. It's not about staying centered in who you think you are. It's being centered in who you are, because when you stay centered in who you think you are, you hold yourself back. You
Yeah. You
study
give
others
yourself.
and you've gained knowledge.
You give yourself parameters, fences.
That's right.
You cage yourself in because you are then. If you turn out any other way than what you think you are failing then.
That's right.
And it's so much smoother to just be. And each moment that you are is perfect for that moment.
That's right.
So yeah, so
That's
it's a lovely number, a great pick for me.
yeah.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just for me, it's like a confirmation that I was surprised at myself for really not wanting to take on board this compliment. And it was something in me said, this will do you no good. This will do no good for you. This won't help you grow in any way, shape, or form. It will change you, and it will
Mhm.
take you away from your center,
Mhm.
from who you are. So let it go.
That's right. And
So
it's
that,
not about telling other people what to do and tell them don't compliment you. You say
no,
thank
no.
you and move on.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of people want to be like, oh, shouldn't you be celebrating this? Let's celebrate. Everybody wants to motherfucking celebrate everything. Let's
Yeah, I
celebrate
know.
all
I
these
know.
wins. And it's
Yeah.
like, is it a win? Is it really a win at all?
Exactly. It's not.
Right.
Not a win. It's not a lose.
That's
It is.
right.
It is.
It is
Yeah.
a thing that can get me off of out of my true nature, being truly Julie. I'm going to
Yeah.
be truly someone who I'm going to be truly someone who I knew as Julie for
Yeah.
that
I live
one
in
moment.
each moment for being true to who I am in this moment in time,
That's
without
right.
thinking about who I'm going to be tomorrow. Because
Yes.
that will happen when the time is right. I will be whoever I am tomorrow in exactly the right time, exactly the right place, as it's going to be, as it is. So just let it happen.
And that's why this one is entitled You Are Not Manifestation.
Yeah. Yes.
You are not manifestation. You are deeper than that. Manifestation is things, stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
You are not that.
We are experiencing, but we are not manifestation itself.
Not at all. Not at
No.
all.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Martin John. It's been great staying awake with you.
Yeah, now you go get some sleep. I mean, I'm going to be going to bed soon. It's only 7:30. Have a good night, Julie. Love you so much. All right, if there is anybody else that would like to step up, this is a late Dow of the day. I'm going to be capping it off if nobody wants to step up. Thank you so much for joining me. If you benefit from the work that I do, feel free to send me a tip over at Venmo at @MartinJohn_Garcia. I appreciate each and every one of you for stepping up. We talked with Michael about number 24, Julie about number 33, and it was a really beautiful couple conversation. So I hope you got to listen to it. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.